Okay, so welcome back. So this has generated a nice thumbnail. So I have asked this to, uh, you know, I have asked this to generate different styles because it was doing some random and I don't know. So look at that. How about this chaotic dev desk explosion? So I guess this was doing chaotic dev desk explosion before. And yeah, so neon terminal fever dream. Yeah, so this is neon fever terminal dream. So we will see what comes out later on with a new with a new style. So this is going to be a shorter stream, like 30 minutes. And there's this thing about using the Docker build-x plugin. Um, so do you know if Docker build-x comes by default in newer Ubuntu distributions or after a given Docker version? Yes. Docker CE includes build-x. Docker.io often does not include build-x. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's find out if among the old advice is there anything related to the to this package that we need to be installing. You name -m, which is what I was doing here with the Docker run thing. I was trying to do. So if I don't specify the platform and I do name -m, I'm getting this platform instead of i386. And so here it says to build you must have this thing. If it fails, to next bin vmt install all. So let me copy this thing in here. So regarding build-x. So the question is, can I use Cacleus? Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Cacleus. Es un nombre interesante. Can I use the bin vmt? Can I use this thing workaround as pues nada, Cacleus. Ahora lo que estamos haciendo es reescribir el sistema de construcción, el sistema de build de Rescatux desde cero para que sea un poco más mantenible. Y esto es una cosa que se puede hacer ahora con las IAs que te... Ah, aún el cacleo. Ah, sí, pues tú ya has aparecido por aquí, pero diría que con otro identificador, con otro usuario de YouTube. Sí, proyecto ASIR, sí. Un proyecto de FP, de algo, sí, recuerdo que te dijo el profesor que pidieses permiso, patatín patatán. Sí, sí, sí. Entonces, pues, Pinoitos, sí, 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 sí. Pinoitos, ahora me acuerdo, sí, sí, sí. Era ese el sistema operativo. O sea, la licencia te dejaba usarlo, pero el profesor dijo, tú, de todas maneras, pide permiso. Que no sé si era por por tema de etiqueta o yo qué sé. Y sí. Entonces, pues la idea es hacer un refactor de todo esto gracias a la IA para que cada una de las cosas se compilen a través de Docker y gracias a eso, pues es más mantenible. Y bueno, ahora estoy luchando con Docker para compilar con i386 porque quiero poder compilar aparte de AMD64, que es la máquina que estoy usando, compilar en i386 todo de una vez. O sea, es un Dockerfile que sea de i386. Y bueno, so can I use this thing workaround as described below as a Docker X replacement somehow? Um, so, lo que vamos a hacer aquí es check expected check this thing, if not, install this thing. Maybe you can teach me what are the differences between using one or the other. I would like profesores profesoranda. Te recomiendo que uses Cloud o Codex. Para este tipo de tareas es muy bueno. Sí, claro, o sea, yo esto ya lo sé. Lo que pasa que no me fío aún de tener una herramienta que me toque todos los ficheros a la vez. Eh, Me gustaría que la herramienta estuviese en un Docker, que solamente me tocase el directorio donde estoy trabajando, ¿sabes? Y bueno, no sé. Eh, el tema es que lo haga a mano y ya está. Al final lo que quiero hacer es paso a paso las cosas, entender por qué las hago, que esto es muy importante con la IA, porque la IA te va haciendo cosas y bah. Entonces, I would like to avoid that the project forces to install upstream Docker so that it's easier for new developers to contribute to the project. A ver qué me dice con respecto a instalar el bin fmt dist este en tal, porque no entiendo muy bien cómo se supone que esto funciona exactamente. Dice, eres de los de antes, desarrolladores de los buenos, dejo mi like y sigo amigo, muy feliz de verte de nuevo así, sigue así. Bueno, ya veremos cuánto dura, porque al final estas cosas... Pero sí, sí que soy de los de antes, porque empecé antes de la IA, obviamente, pero... bueno, supongo que tarde o temprano tendremos que ir a la forma de trabajar de que pones un Cloud Code o pones un Codex, que me han dicho que es muy bueno. O sea, hay mucho feedback de que el Codex es muy bueno, en verdad. Aunque el Cloud está ahí. Ah, o sea, el Cloud tiene mejor personalidad. El Codex es muy seco, parece ser. Y bueno, es interesante. Vale, pues vamos a ver esto. Mental model. This clears everything. There are two completely yes. Vale, bueno, lo que estaba diciendo antes era que me da la impresión de que al final iremos a un modelo de codex que te toca todos los ficheros y tú confías en que te los ha tocado bien. Y bueno, se supone que para confiar que te los ha tocado bien hay un montón de tests que tú pides previamente que te construya para que con esos tests verificar que está todo bien. Entonces, como que el mismo sistema se controla a sí mismo a través de los tests para saber si está bien o no. Pero yo prefiero controlar cada una de las partes y ya está. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So mental model displays everything. There are two completely different layers, okay? The first layer is the emulation layer, which is Tony's VMT. If you register QEMU in the kernel, let your host run foreign binaries. So, if I run this thing, without bin MFT it fails, but with bin MFT it prints IX86. And then there's the build system. So it's Docker build X, handles multi-architecture builds, produces proper multi-arch images, manages platform metadata. So enables cross-arch execution. Okay, builds images. Okay. What you actually need for Rescatux: reproducible builds, Docker base pipeline, support AMD 64 and i386, developer friendly, no faults. Okay. You can avoid build X and still be correct. Use classic Docker build plus QM bin VMT. This is perfectly valid for architecture. Okay. Minimal setup for contributors. You can require only Docker and optionally this thing. And that's it, not build run. How your builds will behave. So if you do this, images is create AMD limitation. This breaks Docker run because this image is AMD 64. Your workaround is no platform needed. This is your containers are built environments, not production artifacts, not published images. So platform metadata correctness is irrelevant. This is exactly what you want. For Rescatux, you don't distribute Docker images, you distribute ISOs. So yeah. Suggested makefile target. Docker build install add. Suggested contributor instruction. Install Docker. Okay, so this means that what I actually want to have here is install Docker and then run this thing. Docker run. Let me take a look at this. I understand. I don't understand this thing. Summary. Why would I do not understand this thing. I do not understand. What does this thing do? Damn it. It hasn't. What does this thing do under the hood? Why does it affect future builds, or does it? The question is, why does it affect future builds? I thought that Docker run only affected Docker images. Docker run only affected Docker images. referenced by the comment. Would this comment affect to all of the Docker images that I have? Maybe is there a way so that this only affects a given Docker image? Okay, let's see. Great questions. This is exactly the kind of thing that looks like Docker package, but it's actually Linux kernel behavior. Let's break it down clearly. This does not modify Docker images at all. It modifies the host kernel. Are you kidding me? The key concept being BNFT-MISC. Linux has a call BNF to load the kernel to say, if I see binary for architecture X, run it using interpret X. What the container does, the container registers interpreters like this. I3 is the 3, I is 2. This is done by writing into here. Why privileged is required? Because it needs to write to this thing load kernel handles. Without privilege, this is impossible. What actually gets installed after running it, your system has entries like this thing. Why it affects future builds? Because this is a global kernel state, not Docker state. So Docker build uses host kernel. Kernel knows how to run foreign binaries, so builds will start building. This is the crucial beta mall. Docker container execution uses host kernel. When a container runs this thing and say, oh, i386 run via QEMU i3s. Does it affect all Docker images? Yes, but indirectly. It affects all containers, all builds, any process on your system, because it's a system-wide kernel feature. But important nuance, it does not modify images, layers, change Docker files, it only changes how binaries are executed. Example, before installing Docker run files, is this safe? Yes, it needs some thoughts, it's like attack surface increase, while some process like Docker can be scope to one image. No, and this is the key limitation, because being FMT-MISC is kernel wide, not container specific, not namespace isolated. Why it cannot be isolated? Because binary execution kernel responsibility, not container runtime. What? Alternative, if you really wanted isolation, no BNFT native build only. Build i3 in a, oh my god, clean but practical. Run QEMU manually inside container. Look at that. Example QEMU in binary. Slow complex breaks normal tooling apt dbt. BM instead of Docker. Run full i386 BM. Why your current approach is actually ideal. For Rescatux, you need cross-arc builds. You want low friction. You don't distribute Docker images. So global BNFT is acceptable. You can make it optional. Ensuring cross-arc support. Okay, Finial. Okay, wait a moment, please. I'm going to end the stream.